Cognition and executive function. Cognition is the mental action of gaining knowledge, and executive function is the blend of three skills. These three skills are inhibition, working memory, and shifting. Executive function takes place in the prefrontal cortex, and I'm going to call it PVC for short. The PVC fully develops only in adulthood, and specific areas of the PVC perform specific functions. And the PVC also works with other areas of the brain to perform these specific functions. So, as mentioned earlier, executive function is a blend of inhibition, working memory, and shifting. So, inhibition is suppressing, which means not doing something in a time where it is inappropriate. So, for example, it would be inappropriate to yell in the middle of a performance, right? Because that's not the right time and place to do that. Working memory takes place in the prefrontal cortex and the parietal lobe, and it's the ability to maintain and manipulate information without clues. So, for example, remembering a phone number without writing it down. And in order to maintain your memory, you need to keep rehearsing it. Shifting is also known as mental flexibility, so it allows you to adjust behavior or shift between tasks. And all three of these are shown to get better as you mature. And executive function actually decreases as children mature, but that means that the neurons get more efficient. So if you want to learn more about memory, I linked a link, and there's an activity, a video, and an article about memory, and they're pretty cool, so I would suggest you check it out and if you're interested in learning more about memory. Decision making. So inhibition, memory, and shifting are a basis for decision making. And there are decisions based on logic or on emotion. So, for example, one based on logic would be, say you're walking home, and if you turn right, it'll take you 20 minutes to get home, and if you turn left, it'll only take you 10, right? So the logic will be to turn left because it'll take you less time. But both of these decisions are made in the PVC. And the lateral PVC overrides emotional responses. So a study was done and it was found that the lateral PVC was active when a person declined a small gift for a large one in the future. And the lateral PVC only fully develops in your 20s, so this explains why teens sometimes have trouble controlling emotions. And the orbitofrontal cortex, it's a part of the PVC, is involved in decisions that have reward and punishment. Mentalizing. So mentalizing is making sense of your own thought processes and those of others. So it takes place in the medial PVC and the lateral PVC. So an example of mentalizing is empathy and theory of mind. And if you don't know what theory of mind is, it's basically understanding people's actions based on their mental state. So if you see that someone is crying, you make the conclusion that they're in a bad mood, right? So that's why they might not be the nicest person ever at that moment. And we do this by observing the actions of others. And a monkey study was done where they found that mirror neurons fired when monkeys watched another monkey or even a person do the same action as they did before. And so it was concluded that mirror neurons underlie our ability to understand people's actions. But however, for mirror neurons and just for empathy in general, there isn't a lot of evidence presented yet, so researchers are still investigating